Good morning, everyone. Let's continue the same chapter with the next concept, domestic territory and resident implications. What is domestic territory or economic territory? The first thing to note is that economic territory of a country is not simply political frontiers of that country. The two may have common elements, but still they are conceptually different. Let us first see how it is defined according to the United Nations. Domestic territory of a country or economic territory of a country doesn't mean that simply we are discussing about the circulation of goods only in our own country, but the things may be related to other countries also will be considered as a part of domestic country. That concept will be clear to you. I'll give some examples. Let me clear this definition first of all. According to the United Nations, economic territory or domestic territory is administered by a government within which not only goods but persons and capitals can circulate freely. This freely word saying that there is a complete freedom for the circulation of persons, goods and capital. A domestic territory or economic territory, their definition is based on the certain things that this country is getting such freedom plus goods, persons and capitals. These three things can circulate freely. Clearly, those parts of the political frontiers of a country where the government of that country doesn't enjoy the above freedom are not to be included in economic territory of that country. जो जिन कंट्रीज़ को फ्रीडम नहीं मिलती है वो अपनी कंट्री में पूरी तरह से इन चीज़ों को फॉलो अप नहीं कर पाते हैं. दे आर नॉट इजीली सर्कुलेट द पर्सन, गुड्स एंड कैपिटल. सो दोज कंट्रीज हु आर नॉट एंजॉइंग द above freedom are not to be included in our country. One example is embassies. Government as a part of economic territory, Government of India doesn't enjoy the above freedom in the foreign embassies located within India. Government of India doesn't enjoy the above freedom in the foreign embassies क्योंकि वहाँ की गवर्नमेंट हमें ये फ्रीडम नहीं दे रही है. So these are not treated as a part of economic territory of India. Foreign embassies located within India, they are not providing us freedom. That's why it will not be considered as economic territory of India. They are treated as part of the economic territories of their respective countries. For example, the US Embassy in India is a part of economic territory of the USA. Similarly, the Indian Embassy in Washington is a part of economic territory of India. US Embassy के अंदर US Embassy in India, US की एम्बेसी इंडिया के अंदर है बट दे आर जनरेटिंग इनकम फॉर US. दैट्स वाई इट बिकम्स अ पार्ट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी ऑफ USA ओनली. सिमिलरली इंडियन की एम्बेसी वॉशिंगटन में है, सो इट रिमेन्स द इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी ऑफ इंडिया. बेस्ड ऑन द क्राइटेरिया फ्रीडम ऑफ सर्कुलेशन ऑफ पर्सन्स, गुड्स and capital, the scope of domestic territory is defined to cover. For example, on the basis of these freedom of circulations, some points are given like political frontiers or geographical boundaries including territorial waters and airspace. For example, branch of an American bank in India is included in the domestic territory of India because it is within located the geographical boundaries of India. Branch of an American bank in India. American bank की एक branch इंडिया के अंदर located है within the domestic territory of India because it is located within the geographical boundaries of India. So it will be included in the domestic territory of India. Office of Tata Industries in America. Tata Industries in America is not included in the domestic territory of India because it is outside the geographical boundaries of India. Next is embassies, consulates, military bases, etc. located abroad. For example, Indian embassy in Japan. India की embassy जापान के अंदर है, but it remains a domestic part of India. Russian embassy in India is not a part of domestic territory of India because Russian embassy in India is a part of Russia only. So it is not the part of domestic territory of India. Ships, aircrafts, etc. operated by the residents between two or more countries. Suppose a person is taking his ship from one country to another country, but the income which he is generating, that remains from India only, and the person who is taking that ship, he belongs to India, so it will be treated as a part of the domestic territory of India. Either he is operating aircraft or ship, either fishing vessels, oil and natural gas rings, all these things, if either operated by the residents in the maybe international waters also or the other areas over which the country enjoys the exclusive rights of jurisdiction, but the income are generating from India only, either they are operating their work for the international companies, for international countries, but still these things will be treated as a part of domestic territory of India. Now, the next concept is, who is a resident? A resident, whether a person or an institution, is one whose center of interest economically lies in the domestic territory of the country in which he lives. Who is a resident? A person who is residing in a country for 1 year or more than 1 year will be considered as a part of resident of that country. Now, there are certain things related. First, a person who is residing in that country for 1 year or more than 1 year, plus whose economic interest lies in that country, means he went for the profit motive, to maximize profit for business purpose. He went there in that other country, then he becomes the resident of that country in that case. Now the question arises, a person who is a citizen of one country can be the resident of another country? A person who is a citizen of one country may be the resident of another country. Yes, it is possible. Suppose I belong to India. By birth, I was born in India. I took my studies in India. But when the time arises for job, I choose to do work in other country. Suppose in Canada. And now I am living there for more than 1 year, and my economic interest lies in that country only because I went just for the profit motive, to do business or for job. So I become the resident of that country now, that is Canada. But now we are differentiating this, that is that at the same time I can be the citizen of one country and the resident of other country. Yes, I become the resident of Canada and I was a citizen of India. Clear? This is the difference between citizen and resident. So a person who is living in a country for 1 year or more than 1 year, plus his economic interest lies in that country, he becomes the resident of that country. The center of economic interest implies two things. The resident lives or is located within the domestic territory, and the resident carries out the basic economic activities of earnings, spending and accumulation from that location. Means वो कमाने के पर्पज से गया है. बट सपोज कोई पर्सन हमारी कंट्री से दूसरी कंट्री में घूमने के लिए गया है, फॉर वेकेशंस पर्पज, फॉर मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट पर्पज, फॉर लाइक टू ज्वाइन सम मीटिंग्स, or one person went to other country for the installation of machineries, maybe for services purposes, for care customer services. So these all are the examples, which doesn't mean that a person who is going for some other purposes except for business or for job will be considered as resident of that country. Now there are some examples. Indians working in the office of the United Nations organization in India are normal residents of India, since they live in India and their center of economic interest also lies in India. So they remain the normal residents of India in that case. Some other examples. Indians going abroad for medical treatment are residents of India. Normally visit for medical treatment is a short period visit. Whenever we go to abroad for medical treatments, we visit for a short periods only, maybe for 6 months, maybe for 1 month, maybe for 15 days. So it doesn't mean we become the resident of that country. Foreign tourists who visit India for recreation, फॉरेन कंट्री से ताजमहल देखने के लिए आगरा जाते हैं लोग, it doesn't mean they become the resident of that country. They just came for recreation purpose to spend their holidays. Sometimes people come for medical treatments also, for study also, for sport purposes like to play games, like for football, volleyball, for certain tournaments. Sometimes children go, but it doesn't mean they become the resident of that country. For to attend conferences, etc. are not the residents of India. Indian officials working in the Indian embassy in USA. Indian officials who are working in the Indian embassy but which is located in USA are not residents of India, because although they are living within the domestic territory of India, but they are not be carry out the basic economic activities of earnings, spending and accumulation in India. Is it clear? Indian officials working in the Indian embassy in USA, which is located in USA, they are not residents of India. Why? Because now they are living in USA only. Everything is going on in other countries, so they become the resident of that country only now. Americans working in Indian embassy in America will not become the residents of India. Why? Because residents of America, they live in America. Americans working in Indian embassy